All right. Welcome everyone to the MUISS Media session of the 2025 MUSA by-election debates. Quick introduction here, I'm Bliss, the returning officer of the 2025 MUSA by-elections and the moderator of today's debate. We have Samira and Niha here, both candidates running in a pair for MUISS Media, and Mashura and Mildred here, the 2024 MUISS Media. Right, briefly, before we begin the session, we will start with the introduction of the debate agenda and the people present in this debate session, which has been done, proceeding with a 5-minute opening statement by the candidates, a 20-minute Q&A session from the 2024 office bearer, and after that, we will open up the floor for the audience to submit their questions during this public Q&A session by the students for 20 minutes. So students, if you would like to ask any questions, feel free to utilize the chat box in the YouTube platform, and we will address your questions accordingly. And we will end with the candidate's closing statement for 5 minutes. All right, with no further ado, let's start with the candidate's opening statement. Samira and Niha, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Neha Kalkar and I'm running for MUISS Media alongside Samira. I'm a Year 2 Semester 1 student in School of Science and I'm majoring in biotechnology. I first joined MUISS as part of the CRO subcommittee in 2024, where I got to support events like MCN and Jom Kale from behind the scenes. It was incredible to see how much effort and creativity go into bringing people together through these events, and it really inspired me to get more involved. I've also interned at a hospital in a design and admin role where I honed my skills in visual communication and organization. Having grown up in different countries, I'm passionate about using media to connect people across cultures, which is exactly what MUISS stands for. I'm excited to bring that passion and experience into this role.
Hi everyone, my name is Samira and I'm currently a Year 3 Semester 1 student majoring in Digital Media and Communication. I'm honored to be running for MUISS Media Head alongside Nihar, someone who shared the same drive and vision for what media can do for our international student community. Media has always held a special place in my life. It's more than just content, it is a way to connect, express, and amplify voice. I recently completed an internship as social media executive where I got hands-on experience with content creation, platform management, and building meaningful engagement. I'm passionate about running for this role because I truly believe in power of creative storytelling and inclusive representation. To MUISS Media, I want to help create content that reflect the diverse experience within our community and make sure everyone feels seen, heard, and celebrated. Our manifesto is simple: to create a space where every Monash International student feels seen, heard, and connected. We're here to represent the voice and experience that matter most, and we have built our approach around 3 core pillars, which will guide our media strategy.
So, our first pillar is called Welcoming Media for a Diverse Community. At the heart of our media strategy is the commitment to creating content that truly reflects the vibrant, diverse spirit of Monash's international student body. We know that every student's journey is unique, and through inclusive, approachable content, we aim to make everyone feel supported and at home. Our goal is to smooth the transition, foster a sense of belonging, and ensure that no student feels like an outsider here. We want every single person to thrive within our community.
Our second pillar is elevating content through innovation. We're not just following trends, we're setting them. Our vision is to make Monash media presence to the next level, creating long-form content for platforms like YouTube that will showcase the real Monash experience for prospective international students. But we won't just stop there. We want to introduce fresh, exciting concepts like competition-style videos such as Find the Imposter challenges. These interactive, fun pieces will highlight the dynamic, playful culture of our society while making our media highly engaging and shareable. We'll keep pushing the boundaries of creativity and innovation.
And for our last pillar, it's called Fostering Community Collaboration. Collaboration isn't just something we talk about, it's the foundation of everything we do. We believe that when we work together, we can create something truly impactful. That's why we're committed to fostering a collaborative environment within MUISS Media. We'll host brainstorming sessions, collaborate on exciting projects, and ensure open, transparent communication. By nurturing trust and teamwork, we amplify both our creative output and our positive impact on the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidates, for your opening statement. We shall now invite Mashura and Mildred for the questions.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna start with the first question. So, as you guys being the MUISS Media, you guys play a multi-phase roles, right? Like balancing the publicity and then the editorial responsibility, journalism, and communication, also and content creation. So, I actually want to know, how do you guys plan to structure and manage of these different fields like effectively, but still ensuring like you guys have a consistent quality across all of the areas?
Okay, so firstly, this process of dividing the MUISS Media team into different sub-teams has been done for the past few years now. So just like you guys, we've divided into publicity, documentation, and design. While we do want to make sure that all our subcoms get the experience of working together, it is vital to make sure that a person's best talents are what they're putting out the most, because it just helps streamline the process. So by keeping our subcoms in organized units, we are able to get the best outcomes in terms of all three of these aspects, because they're all extremely important to the functionings of MUISS Media. So there's that, firstly. Secondly, we do have multiple ways of keeping track of task allocations, media content planners, and as such. So we organize this by one, we have a task allocation sheet for all of our subcoms, and that we update in our weekly meetings. So as we host weekly meetings, we have our secretary who's assigned to us note everything down, and we'll go through the meeting minutes and we'll look through what we've assigned for each subcom, and we also make sure the subcoms are okay with what we've assigned, as well as the deadlines. So we'll put that into the task allocation tracker. Now, when it comes to overall content calendars, we have one shared Google Calendar, which incorporates all the events that MUISS is conducting, as well as any other important events that MUISS is part of. And we have those as events, and then according to that, we make a tentative plan of all the different posts and content that's going to come out. So we put that for every month. And then finally, we have one kind of media content planner, which would be a large presentation that we share with all of our team, where we have the design of our Instagram posts and of our Instagram page and how it'll look according to the content that's being put up every week. And it has more detailed description of what is required in each post coming out, so that all of us are clear and we're on the same vision. And then of course there's other things like mood boards and inspiration and stuff, so that everyone knows what's going on and it's clean. Yeah, so I'd say like using calendars and all those systems, dividing our subcoms into teams and holding weekly meetings are probably the ways that we make sure all the different aspects of MUISS Media are handled efficiently and the process streamlined.
Okay, thank you. My second question, I want to ask, like, do you guys know what is MIC? And yeah, if yes, like, can you guys describe your role as a member of MIC?
Okay, so MAC would be the Media Affairs Committee, and as per as our understanding, it would be joining about monthly meetings or whenever it's required. And if we have an agenda to present, we present it, and it goes through a voting process. And if it's approved, if our appeal is approved, then we can proceed. And just like that, all the other media heads from MUSA are also in the meeting, and we all go through our presentations of our proposals. We did also have an MAC meeting last month where we did propose a few of our initiatives. So yeah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you covered mostly.
So moving on to the questions. So my question would be, as the main communicator and social media voice for international communities here in Monash, how would you handle situation where content may be perceived as offensive or sensitive to a particular community?
Firstly, what we are doing right now is a bit different, where we like currently we are reaching out to the communities, to the countries, and we make sure every post, everything that we upload regarding the country or the community, we make sure it's aligned with their culture and with the message that we're giving. We make sure the sensitivity is very high regarding the culture, and we make sure that our cultural norm and our the diverse community have like a lot of values in it before we upload any kind of content. Afterward, if accidentally, if anything happens unintentionally, we have a process of acknowledging the concern mainly, and then afterward we go for the second step, where we try to apologize if anything happened from our side, and later on we go on to clarify the the initial intent of how it went wrong, or how it got to this situation. Later on, we do the correction part, where we try to remove the content if it is needed, and then we obviously meet with the whole team and discuss about what we have, the lesson learned that we have had, and the mistake that went wrong, and then we make sure it is not repeated. And then we also make sure we would host a workshop where inclusive communication and respectful representation is being held.
I would like to add on to that with a real life example of this. So today itself, we posted 2 stories. One which was for the Bangladeshi New Year, and the other which was the Sri Lankan and Sinhalese New Year. This process was followed exactly. So what we usually tend to do is we join the CRO meetings, and in those meetings we go to each country rep and we want to ask them like, oh, if you guys have any events happening, let us know. And especially for the new year, we did communicate with Bangladesh CRs and the Sri Lankan CRs to make sure that the content being put out was accurate and a good representation of what is happening. So that did occur in our last meeting, and it was reflected today.
Good answer, guys. So moving on to my next question. There may be times when content needs to be produced within a limited time frame. At the same time, the quality of output must still be prioritized. How do you plan to manage this balance between efficiency and quality?
Okay, so for that, we can take another example of our upcoming potential event, which hasn't been approved yet, but we do want to do wholly with the collaboration with MICS and IXN. So this was not initially planned, and it was an idea that was produced a bit later than we would expect, and it's a pretty big event. So for that, me and Samira, we definitely had to devise a plan. So our plan for this event was initially making a mood board, because we want to make sure that all the content being put out is consistent amongst all 3 communities. As first party for this event, we want to make sure the media is good, even though the time frame is constricted. So for that, our first priority was understanding how much content is being put out. So we had an internal team meeting with MUISS, and we decided how much content will go on our Instagram page, whether that be the amount of reels, the amount of stories, and the amount of posts. After that, we already have created mood boards for the entire event, whether that be the t-shirts being designed or the posts being created. This helps us create easy templates that we can use throughout the entire event. So even if there's some last minute content that needs to be produced, we already have a design ready, and all we need to do is use the content that we need to include and put it on, and we can post it. Secondly, of course, our weekly meetings are important when it comes to this, but in times like this, we do have more meetings. again, like last week, I think we had 2 weekly meetings instead of one because of this event, and we wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. So this does require the entire team committing more time towards MUISS Media in general. Yeah, and then after that, we also need to make sure that we set realistic priorities. Of course, it is not possible to do everything at the same time. So we need to streamline our efforts towards what is most important. And we all need to be on the same page about what our goals are. So that may mean reducing or eliminating some ideas that other people may have if it's not realistic. Especially as the heads, we do need to keep in mind that it is our job to make sure that we are all being efficient. Now, this was seen with our joint meeting with MICS. Their idea was to create a lot more reels and content, but we realized that that would take a lot of time and energy, and it may not be possible to gather all three communities together. So we decided on a compromise of 2 reels instead. So there's that. And finally, it comes to assigning roles clearly. Now, of course, we always tend to do this, but here it is more important to make sure all our subcoms know that everyone is all hands on deck. And while, yes, their roles are specific, it is also important to help in every aspect possible. So we make sure that they know what their job is clearly.
I would like to add a few points. We also make sure all of our subcom are there in all of our meetings so that they can take over the tasks, and they have been trained beforehand on all of the work that we are doing, whether it's design, whether it's publicity, whether it's any kind of role that we need to take over regarding media last minute. We have make sure, regardless of whatever the role they have taken, we have given them some crash course training to them so that they would be able to take on the leads whenever it is necessary.
And also, we do still want to make sure that even if the content may be rushed, everything is accurate. So we always have everything go through 2 reviews with me, Samira, and we do like to include the heads as well.
All right. So moving on to my next question. So since there's 2 of you and both of you have the same position and it's a shared position, it's quite common for 2 office bearers to have disagreements and conflicts which can arise naturally. So how do you plan to manage differences in opinion or leadership styles to ensure effective collaboration and a unified approach within yourselves?
So I think the first step in that is to make sure that on everything we are always on the same page about our goal, even though there's different methods to it. I believe me and Samir both know that it's never one against the other. We always want to make sure that what our goal is to make sure that MUISS Media is doing the best of its abilities. So I mean, I think we both can say with confidence that that has always been the case. Of course, we have differences in opinion, but it is also our jobs to be the bigger person and be responsible as an adult and understand the other person's perspective and reach compromises, right? Of course, when it comes to this job specifically, everyone's idea of design and their creative input is going to be different. Everyone has different visions, no matter how hard you try to get everyone on the same page. But at the end of the day, it comes to having faith in your partner and knowing that they're also good and they're also very capable. So yeah, I think it's about that. What I don't think.
No.
So coming down to our last question. So given the constant need to respond to messages and requests related to social media content or publicity, how do you plan to prioritize and be selective in your responses? Because obviously you cannot reply to each and every single one of the messages. So how do you plan to essentially approach them sensitively? Because what you say is also very, very sensitive.
Yeah, so I think we definitely understand the gravity of the situation of being the voices of MUISS because firstly, there are a lot of vocal students in the community and we can always face a lot of backlash for our events. So we do have to make sure that every single word, every single image, everything in our designs, there's nothing controversial or anything that may incite any sort of response that's negative from the students. And like we addressed before, like Samira addressed before, if there is some sort of mistake from our side, it is our responsibility to address that as soon as possible and take back our statements or anything that is controversial. And when it comes to replying to messages and of that sort, well, we tend to check the social media page about thrice a day,
Yeah.
each of us individually. So if it is spam, we tend to ignore it. If it is us, a club or a community from Monash, MUSA, CNS, whatever it is, we do try to look at it. If it is relevant to our page, we do decide to repost it. Currently, I believe we only repost stories for our countries and as well as for MUSA and Monash, but I don't think we tend to uh repost anything else unless it's a different circumstance and it's returning a favor of them reposting our story. Yeah, and if it is about responding to messages from students who are curious and they want help, we are all on board. So we tend to direct them to whatever head is responsible for that, whether it's CRO, secretary, the direct heads. Yeah, so we just direct them to that.
Yeah, we have had many experience of student coming and asking about stuff like March or like T-shirts that they want to get, which is clearly not our sector, but then we try to direct them to MUSA publicity. We try to and there are certain questions which were not couldn't be answered by us. We reach out to our heads, we talk in the meeting, and then we reply to those respective messages accordingly. So it's never from one end. It's always we go back to our whole team and we discuss about it with our respective members, and then we go and reply to certain messages.
All right, guys, thank you for your answer. So this was it from us. Mildred, do you want to add anything else? All right, so thank you for your debate, and this was it from us.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
All right, thank you everyone. Now we will move on to the public Q&A session by the students. Again, to everyone watching the live stream, if you have any questions, drop it in the YouTube chat. Right, we have one question here. So the question is, you mentioned being inclusive, engaging, and innovative. Can you share a real example where you showed all three, especially in a way that helped international students?
Could you repeat the question one more time? Sorry.
Sure. The question is, you mentioned being inclusive, engaging, and innovative. Can you share a real example where you showed all three, especially in a way that helped international students?
Okay, we can talk about our recent initiative of the MUISS podcast that happened. So we just uploaded our first episode about a week ago, and this was a great collaborative effort with all of our team, and it was very inspiring to see all of us come together and make it happen. So when it comes to it being inclusive, the topic of the podcast was about Ramadan away from home. While we did interview Muslim students about their experiences, and of course this was international students, which again, like in of itself, it is exchanging and it's cross-cultural exchange of ideas from different countries and talking about their differences in experiences from the places they're from versus here. So that comes to inclusiveness. But we also had a non-Muslim student speak about his experiences regarding fasting and experiencing Muslim culture for the first time. So that as well added on to the inclusivity part of it. And of course, it is a new initiative and it was, I think, pretty well received. by everyone. And we also got messages saying they want to be in the next few podcasts. So yeah, I think this initiative is a great example of our vision and what it means to be representing MUISS as an international community. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I hope that answers your question. All right, students, if you still have any other questions, feel free to drop it in the YouTube chat box. And maybe we will wait for 1 to 2 minutes to see if we still have any questions. All right. All right, there's a follow-up from the question just now. So the student mentioned, I would really recommend to make it more engaging, such as inviting normal students as well. What do you guys have to say on that?
By normal students, what does that exactly mean? Because what would abnormal students indicate? These are international students, so our purpose is to promote different cultures, not just within the countries that we represent, but as well as smaller communities that may not have a community within MUISS. So our goal is, I mean, it's MUISS, right? So it is made by and for international students. So if you're referring to normal students as local students, unfortunately, that is not within our jurisdiction. That would be MUSA Media's responsibility to host podcasts as such. I'm sure they have their great initiatives as well. But when it comes to international students, that is our goal. And if this is regarding like Ramadan and it being an Islamic oriented podcast, well, that was because it was a theme of the month. Our following podcasts do include different ideas and topics, so it is not just directed towards any community or any demographic. I hope that answers your question.
All right, there's a follow-up. So by normal students, I mean students who are usually very quiet and introverted. So they should connect with the international student community as well.
I see. Okay. In that perspective, we will definitely take your suggestion into account. And yes, we also have a podcast coming up relating to mental health, and that we do want to talk about the experiences of students feeling homesick and not finding people they can connect with, and the difficulties we face, mental struggles especially, because as international students, a lot of us have experienced that, me included. So that is one of our upcoming podcast episodes, and I really hope that you enjoy that. And yes, we will take that suggestion into account. We definitely do want every voice to be heard, even those who are introverted and may not feel confident enough to speak up or join such initiatives.
All right, thank you, dear student. I hope that answers your question. Okay, we shall allow for maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to see if we still have any other questions. Meanwhile, let me go by what's up for the by-election. So after this, we have another debate session for MUISS engagement at 6:30 p.m. So students, if you are interested to have a listen, feel free to drop by the MUSA official page YouTube channel. And voting for this by-election starts on 16 April at 9 a.m. All right, the student mentioned, thank you, and I will be really looking forward to your effort and podcast regarding this. Okay. From the looks of it, I don't think we have any more questions from the students. I believe Samira and Niha, you guys can proceed with your closing statement.
All right, thank you to the student, and here's our closing statement.
Right. As interim media head of MUISS, we've had the privilege and responsibility of representing international students and their voices. And we believe that social media is more than just a platform. It is a powerful tool for connection, visibility, and advocacy. Whether it's a simple story update or coverage of a flagship event, we've always put in consistency and intention, effort to make sure our content speaks to and for our community. We don't post just to fill up a feed, we post to reflect our real experience, highlight diverse perspective, create a space where international students feel seen and heard. Over time, we have built more than just an Instagram page. We have built a digital identity for MUISS that is active, engaging, and inclusive. And that's what sets our approach apart. We don't just manage social media, we use it to amplify students' voice and strengthen the community behind them.
Looking ahead, our new initiatives like podcasts, long-form YouTube content, and more collaborative projects with other country representatives are designed to showcase not only our creativity, but also our deep commitment to innovation and inclusivity. These ideas aren't just fresh formats, they're extensions of our manifesto. They reflect our dedication to storytelling that welcomes every culture, celebrates every voice, and keeps pushing boundaries to reflect the real dynamic spirit of Monash's international community. We're not here to do what's done before, we are here to respect the past, and we're here to evolve MUISS Media into something bigger, bolder, and more connected.
All right, thank you for your closing statement. My apologies on this, but apparently we still have one last question. Are you guys open to answering that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, sure. So the question is, you talk about collaboration and transparency, but cliques have held MUISS Media back before. If you're close to the current insiders, what makes you confident you won't add to that same culture?
I'm sorry, could you repeat? I think the first part got cut out a bit for me.
Okay, sure. Let me repeat, yeah. You talk about collaboration and transparency, but cliques have held MUISS Media back before. If you're close to current insiders, what makes you confident you won't add to that same culture?
Sorry, what has helped MUISS Media before the
Cliques.
cliques?
Cliques. CLIQUES. Cliques.
Oh, cliques. Okay,
Mm.
okay, I see. Cliques have helped. Okay, we cannot speak for previous MUISS committees. Even last year's committee, I was part of the subcommittee and I had a great experience, honestly. I know Mashura and Mildred were excellent, and from their subcoms, we've only heard good things. So I'm unsure about cliques in that aspect, but I can confidently say for MUISS 2025, most of us, I didn't even know who Samira was before we decided to come together and we were contacted about this process. I'm pretty sure that most of us did not really know each other, so there's no involvement of cliques when it comes to the at least the office bearers themselves. And as for cliques, I suppose with communities and other friend groups, we always have professionalism in mind first. And at least I can vouch for this. As for now, there's not been any sort of preference. I know that we have never prioritized friends over taking the most qualified candidate. So that's definitely not a question when it comes to me and Samira. I hope that answers your question.
All right, dear student, I hope that answers your question. Do you have any follow-up questions? If no, I think that ends our debate session for MUISS Media. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you students for joining as well. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, can leave already.